Game design is another one of those terms that can have multiple definitions, depending on what you consider to be a game. I want to talk about game design in such a way that will be actually beneficial in your job as a designer. So in the context of our courses, the definition is the following. Game design is the iterative process of creating contextually appropriate systems in collaboration with all other development families with the goal of transforming the underlying mechanics into a player's emotional response. That was a mouthful, but let's break down the important parts of this definition. First, iterations. It is a big misconception that design is something that you plan first and then implement exactly what is planned, and that's how it will turn out in the game proper. It never works like that. All design is iterative. You test out a theory, see if it works or not, usually it won't, then define what needs to be updated for it to work, test out again, and so on. It's a constant loop of testing and iterating, and that's how you actually get good design. Pretty much everything can look good on paper, but in practice, not at all, which is why iteration is so important. Now, contextually appropriate systems. A lot of times people, especially when starting out, tend to view design as something separate from the rest of the game. A very common mistake is to go, oh, I'll do all the mechanics first, and then I'll create some sort of skin for this. Context influences design, and design influences context. If you think about mechanics separately from everything else, there is a high risk your game is going to feel disjointed. Similarly, regarding the collaboration with all other development families, the process of design can't be separate from the process of tech creation, art conceptualizing, writing, and all other areas. Everything has to work together in all aspects. And finally, the transformation of mechanics into an emotion. It's important to understand that the frontal facing of a game is not what designers work with. As an example, for the players, Mario is a character that is just fun to control. But for the designers, Mario is an entity that moves with a particular speed, has a particular jump height, particular gravity, particular stop and force, a particular way the camera moves depending on Mario's position, and so on. Game design is about working on that level of mechanical abstraction, so when at the final result players actually change their inputs, Mario becomes a character who is just fun to control. So when you participate in the process of design, it is imperative to remember all these important aspects: iteration, context, collaboration, and the transformation of mechanics into emotions. Systems and rule sets are the final result of the game design process, but it is not what that process is actually about.